Alright guys, today we're going to be doing video number 3 of a 3-part series. We've been looking at the guard position and we've been looking at it through the lens of the C-TAC system. One of the things that we're going to be taking a look at today is the long-range post position. Now, as I've said in some of the previous videos, I would prefer to go right to this position first. And one of the reasons is because I generally have on a weapon system of some type, a knife, a firearm, and I want to try to make as much space between that firearm and the threat as possible. Now, sometimes in the process of leaving, I have an opponent that gives me pressure and I get stuck in a mid-range post, or I'm unable to make space, and he's pretty much, since we're looking at guard, he stays in the guard position, which we refer to as a close-range post position. So for this video, we're assuming that I was able to make that space. Now, one of the first ways we take a look at making that space is the same thing we did in the second video to get to the scissor frame position, and that is the heavy leg drill. So again, if you missed that last video, the heavy leg, I'm stiffening the body, and I like to shoulder walk and rotate, which starts to give me the option to get that frame and move away from my opponent. To go to the long range post, I'm looking for a foot post on the hip, and I want to come out to a long range position. Now, this is a drill. Most of the time, I would try to leave entirely here. But for the drill, we're going to stay to this position and just look at some options. When I hit this position, you'll see that I am teeing the body. I'm not staying in a straight line. So I'm trying to really load the body up mechanically, obviously to deliver some ballistic force to my threat. And I'm coming up on the elbow. If you grapple a lot, sometimes it's difficult to remember to come up on this elbow, but what we're trying to do is come up because it builds the skeletal structure to deal with force. And now we're going to take a look at some of the striking options that you can do from this position. Okay, we're out in the long range post position, and we're going to look at some of the options for ballistic force from here. One of the first ones I get is a round knee, and one of the reasons is because of a move we looked at in video number 2. We call it the parking brake, but it's basically a push knee. If he does that quickly on that knee, it'll commonly serve that head up to that round knee. So from that position for training, I'll just let my partner practice that out. And again, one of the reasons for that teeing position of the body is to help get the hip lined up to be able to do that with power. The second one is a round kick. Our coach is being nice to me because he's got his steel-toe boots on today for this video.
No one
So this can be a shoe kick as well, because it's probably what you're going to have on. He can use the toe. I better get both pads up for this demonstration. So the second thing you can do with that, depending on where I am located, this is very much like the Thai style kick. He's going to use the blade of the shin, and he'll just drop it on top of that thigh if it's in the right position. There's really no way for me to hold the pad on this. You will have to be kind. Thank you. Nice. Good. The next one is a frame strike. And you'll see that top arm, he's going to use the same blade of the forearm. Now, one of the reasons we teach the frame strike is because it can exist as a frame or a strike. If coach makes a fist, and even if he hits me, I can generally start to slip around that and get close to him. It's harder for me to get around this because it's more surface area. So he just uses it as a strike, and if I am driving forward, it has to turn into a frame. To keep moving away, then it just does. That's it. One of the next ones is the hammer fist. Now, I'll commonly put this together in a combination. He'll hammer fist, straight punch, hammer fist. Now sometimes you can open the palm and use the palm for the straight blow, obviously, because you don't want to break your hand on someone's head. So palm, hammer, palm. Hammer is strike. That's it one more time. Okay, this next one is one of my favorite. When the guys are driving in, a lot of times I will just post on the side of the head or the neck. If they keep driving forward, I'll just move the hand and let it slip off and elbow them or cut them with that elbow. So if coach shows it on my head, that idea. So I can have him train the idea with the focus miss. He just pushes, I push forward, and he just clips it.
I'd say it wouldn't take much, Coach, would it? Just a
No.
little clip.
Open him up, well blubber, as Coach Paulson will say. That idea, good.
Sir.
Okay, so in application, he's actually not going to stop in the long range post. We stop here so we can drill the ideas and train some of the techniques. But he's actually just going to leave entirely, create space, and then get up. The only reason that he would get the long range post is because I pursue him. So Coach, you're just going to get out of dodge. And then he would exit or get up off the floor. And again, for the drills, sometimes I'll have the guys do just that. Heavy leg, the mid-range post, all the way out, and then just disappear and get out of there as quickly as possible. Then I will pursue them. If I'm able to catch up to him, he may put in that long-range post. He may fire that parking brake. It's probably one of the most common places I get the parking brake or the knee push. It's because they're coming after me. And you know, we call it the parking brake because it delays them in time, allowing me to get to my feet. Guys, if you like this information, this is all small parts of a system that we teach in an online video academy. If you'd like more information on that video academy, you can find it at the top of the screen. When I go out to that T position, I want to make sure to get my feet away from them. Back. They just disappear entirely. So we will refer to this just as an elbow shrimp. And you'll see I'm set up in the same position that we showed earlier because he may pursue me. If I'm backing up and he's coming, you know, I want him to walk into these things as I'm starting to get up and exit. Okay, so we've done that long range post. We looked at some striking options, and we talked about the fact that I'm probably not going to stop there. I'm actually trying to leave, make as much space between me and the thread as possible. If they pursue me and I'm able to stop them with either the long range, sometimes you'll miss, or sometimes they'll clear it and you'll end up in the mid-range because it's a fight. You never know, but you want to be prepared for any of those options. If I'm able to make that space and get up, there's a couple of different ways to get up off the floor. One of the most common ones out there is a technical get up. You'll see this in jiu-jitsu. For me, I don't get up on the hand that often in this scenario. I will generally get up from the elbow to the knee because of pressure. When I play this and the guys are really coming after me, when I'm trying to go all the way up to my feet right away, I fail more often. When I try to just come up to the knees, I'm in a position, if they arrive there, to fight, to go to a weapon system. And as you know from one of our previous videos, the Around the World drill, we practice everything that we do in a kneeling position too. And that includes weapon systems. So it is a quick position. If I choose to get up from here, I can do so. I just have to judge where I am between space between me and the thread. Okay, so in today's video, we took a look at the long range post and the different options that we can do from there. In that position, one of the first things we study is the ability to deliver some destructive force. And we looked at a few of the options off of the big list to do so. The knee, the round kick, some of the options from the arm. We know that in reality, I'm probably not going to stop there. I'd like to make space and get up as we spoke about. One of the reasons I may end up there is because maybe the opponent drives forward and I have to maintain that space with a frame. Sometimes that long range frame will fail and force us into what we refer to as a mid-range frame, the scissor position that we looked at in video 2. Sometimes they may drive all the way in. Even if they pass the legs, sometimes I have to recover to guard. And in the guard, we refer to that as a close range post. So I want to have some options that are based on the principles that we're looking for in each of those positions. Now, everything we did is not very grappling focused on the last 3 videos. And that's not to say we don't spend a lot of time grappling. You should grapple because it develops a lot of attributes and skills into your body. But we believe that you should also look at self-defense as a whole, because grappling is not necessarily fighting. When you are fighting and anything goes, a lot of the elements that are added in you may not see in a grappling system. And the way I look at it is I'm going to make my opponent force me to grapple. He has to earn it. And in the process of earning it, I'd like to make him pass through as much hell as possible. So if I land in that long range post, I want to create a blizzard of destructive force for that guy to go through to get to me and control me. And if I'm lucky, I'm able to slow him down enough, I can go ahead and get to my feet, leave, or go to a weapon system. All right, guys, if you like the information that we did in today's video, this is actually video 3 of a 3-part series. You can take a look at those other videos right up here.